Welcome everyone to Roll for Roll, where tonight we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're kind of going to go over our thoughts on season one and kind of just an overview of what happened, what could have happened, and stuff like that. As you can see, we are missing a Jaeger White Wing. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to make it tonight, but nonetheless, we will continue on with our journey. So, I guess we'll start off. What was your guys' favorite moment from season one?
Which way are we going?
Either one.
Right to you.
To me? Uh, Favorite moment? It's a tough one. As they hit YouTube, my favorite moment that's happened so far probably is the Zokkan sneaking over 70 feet of open ground to sneak up on the Kobold to roll a natural 1 on his swing when he gets right there.
Nice.
That's or Jaeger screaming like a little girl when he gets pulled up in the net. That is that's up there.
Yeah, that was great.
What is my favorite? I would definitely have to say those, but I don't know. There's so many aspects of the I would have to say the dream sequence that being told and hearing our fate, or could be our fate, and maybe it is our fate. That was awesome. I like that.
Oh, man. So many good times. So many bad times. I think some of my favorite parts were the impromptu NPC appearances and meeting characters for the first time and really just pushing the boundary. What are we doing here? How's it looking?
Nope, nothing. You'll see it in post. It's great.
Probably my favorite moment, probably after the barkeep got done telling Jaeger that his wife was killed and asked him if after this whole story, this horrifying story about his wife being murdered, I asked Jaeger if he wanted another drink then, and Jaeger just turned to him and said, "Yep." That was probably one of the highlights. Just a lot of silly RP mishaps. Those are my favorite bits. Rolling ones suck. Rolling 20s are pretty awesome, but at the same time, there's a lot of cool things that would have never happened if all of us playing those characters weren't us. You know what I mean? So much could have changed.
Yeah, I think, and you touched on it a little bit, but my favorite moment from the series was when Zokkan kind of went off from the group and wanted to find poison.
Yeah.
I had nothing planned out. I didn't even think that was a
I knew I was being a
possibility.
dick to you.
But
I knew.
And then when you went into the bar, that
was a pretty good time too.
In my mind, I was
cool.
like, if he goes up to this dude and starts a fight, Zokkan's probably gonna die, you completely
Nobody would know where he is.
Yeah, and you completely twisted it around and convinced this dude who didn't want to have anything to do with anybody kill somebody from it, and then
And now he's dead.
Yeah, and then have it flip over. So it showed consequences for actions, and I think that's one of my favorite moments. There's a lot of favorite moments, but that's probably one of my favorite moments. Another one,
walking up an illusionary tower for 3 hours, not going anywhere.
That was great too. I guess, did you have any questions about, hey, if we would have did this kind of differently, what would have happened here?
All right. What if Samuel Gother didn't drop that orb? in the first combat scenario, what would have happened if it just stayed on the table? Would it have still opened? Would that whole thing have happened? Or
The contingency for that was whenever the Drow Ranger got low, he would try to go after the orb and take the orb and drop his journal while trying to fumble out of there.
Gotcha.
If he would have died, I don't know. I didn't have anything written for that. Another thing, or does anybody else? Any questions?
I guess if we were, well, you know, when those orcs and goblins are marching, if we were to fight them and let's say, you know, go ahead and kill them, how would that have been different? Like when we went to town, the meeting, like how would that have been different?
Well, first of all, if you guys would have ventured on that way, I would have warned you that going across these guys, you would probably die in a not you're gonna die way. And then if you guys continued on, you guys probably wouldn't have made it out of there anyway. It probably would have been a TPK. But that town has been getting attacked for over a year. It was Garen who just kept on sending waves and waves and waves of waves. He had 3 chieftains, an orc chieftain, a goblin chieftain, and a hobgoblin chieftain under his mind control. That he's just been having constantly mind controlling these guys and having them be sent out. So subsequently, it kind of passed down the line for them to be mind controlled, and they were just relentlessly attacking this town because Bartholomew was there.
Okay.
But if you would have attacked them, you guys probably would have been killed by at least the end.
Okay.
That's the truth about it. But I would so looking up on this is how many you actually, like, getting closer, this is how many you actually see. Yeah, I think they were still marching whenever you guys were looking at them. Like, you didn't even see the front of them. And then they were marching throughout that entire fight. Which, granted, didn't take that long, but it's a full minute of troops marching. So, there was about 60 of them in total. So, of course, you guys could have fought, but it probably would have been a TPK. Total party kill.
I've only got 2 daggers to throw.
Yeah.
I just need
And you
58 more daggers.
And you keep on losing them.
They're gone, I think.
Yeah.
Did you lose
Yeah,
them?
they're gone.
Oh yeah, they
They're
are gone, huh?
I
They're
think
gone.
so.
Yeah.
We need to find you a.
I think one of
belt.
them is gone. You
One of
didn't.
them.
No, I used both of them on Garen, and before we left, I never bothered to look for them.
Oh yeah, that's right. So you
Yeah.
don't have them.
So they're gone.
What about
Unless
you
you guys
Zokkan?
want to travel back to the tower,
No,
I
thank
can always
you.
get new daggers.
Nude.
We need you. Find you a belt for those.
Belt of returning.
Like a belt return. Mm-hmm.
You know, just keep seeing my half-elf pants keep dropping too.
Mm-hmm.
That's another reason that belt
True.
would be useful.
What about you, Zokkan?
About me for things, see, I don't know. I'm curious, but I don't think quite like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like I like knowing that what's happened has happened, and because it's the same as with real life too, right? Like you have to think about like, oh, what if I'd done this? But
now you get those answers.
there's solace and there's kind of like it kind of gets put to rest,
Mm-hmm.
knowing, especially things like, I don't know, like maybe something like we'll go back to the poison thing. Like, what if I had this is the issue running in my head when I was talking to the guy looking for poison, is I was thinking about killing him and just in the alley and just hiding the body or whatever. But then thinking about it, what if they had found out found the body, found out it was me. Now I'm in big trouble. What is that going to do to the party later? So that is definitely one of the things where, like, what if I had killed the guy and took what was on him?
To be honest,
Would you
probably
think-
nothing. No, I didn't
Okay.
think you were gonna kill him. I didn't think you were gonna go in there, in the alley. I had to come up with everything on that, like on the fly. So
I bet you loved that I kept saying, you're like, what are you going to do? You should probably go. And I'm like, I'm just going to stay on this roof. You can't make me get down.
at that point in time, it wasn't it wasn't me that was pulling you. It was Zagrath, because Zagrath at that time was trying to influence you. He wasn't very strong back then. Couldn't talk through your dreams at that point in time. He needed to tune to you. So.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah, I do have a question for that part. Because how it cracked, because was Zokkan close enough to it to get that influence? Is that how he got influenced, or
how he got influenced is when the orb shattered, the mist went into underneath the floorboards and found the person whose mind was the weakest at
that's
that point
right?
in time.
Because we had a roll. Okay, but what if we weren't? What if all of our minds weren't weak?
He probably would have attached to Samuel Gother just to progress the story.
Okay.
What if everybody's mind was weak?
What if
It would have been the lowest.
attached-
It would have been the
What
lowest
about
one.
it attaches to Samuel Gother, and then we kill him?
You had the opportunity to kill him and you didn't.
Would it just come out of him and then go into somebody else? Probably.
He definitely would have went with you the entire way instead of staying in Yusib.
Oh, there's another fun part that happened was the passing of the book mid-battle.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that? Running around taking the journal, putting in another... Sam, get picked up, put down.
Yeah,
That was a good
the
time.
invisible stalker was sent by Garen to retrieve the book. Because at that point in time, he wasn't sure who had it. He just knew that he didn't have control over the Drow anymore. So he wanted to make sure that whoever killed him or anything like that didn't have possession of that book. So it was sent to go get the journal itself.
Was anybody surprised that I burnt the journal?
Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I could have stopped it,
Could've.
but I could have.
But it also stopped 2 other attacks on the road as well.
That was one of those decisions, and we've talked about this off camera too, is differentiating between choices that you would make and choices that your character would make. And it's something that I felt very strongly about when I made Zokkan, that he was gonna kind of do these right under the nose but in the shadows actions to kind of be a little bit of a douche, but also kind of keep his other companions out of danger, but do it in kind of like a sneaky a way that the other guys wouldn't appreciate too much. But
Yeah, mister,
thought
I'm
that
going to go
was pretty
sleep
cool.
next to a tree. I'm just
Every
going to sleep
time.
all night.
Who's gonna take first watch? I'm gonna go sleep.
And when I go, hey, do you want to go ahead and take first watch? No.
I'm gonna sleep while tossing up a pebble.
yeah, there's significance to that pebble that I don't even think Gozirra to his backstory that I don't know. We may find out later on in seasons to come why he does that, but
But didn't you toss the pebble, though? Didn't you, let
He
go
did.
of that pebble?
it's not a specific pebble. It's not a specific
Oh,
rock.
it's just
the
how-
action.
It's
Okay.
symbolic.
It's the action of tossing a rock, but it's neither here nor there.
Okay.
One thing I did want to bring up is, and it happened very early, so it might be one of those things where you guys may have not noticed it, but Nixera was the only person that actually looked around the room to see what was going on in the very first session. If she didn't notice him at all, he would eventually have left. and Samuel Gother would have came through the door.
Okay.
And
The whole
then that
world we
would have
learned
spun a whole new thing where you had to go find Samuel because he's been captured by that guy.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, but that was part of my character anyway. So being
Oh, yeah,
in
yeah.
a
It
room
worked
full
out-
of people.
Worked out pretty cool.
I
Yeah.
just wanted to eat breakfast, man. That's all I wanted.
Everybody, yeah, Jaeger's like, I want to go talk to those dwarves. I'm like, oh, cool. Didn't write
Just
any
one.
dialogue for him whatsoever. It was just,
And they have
just
the
supposed to be
best
background
accent.
characters. Yeah, you like my accent? Oh, come on, come on.
Overly excited.
Well, it's not.
I think that might have been at one of Axton's most said lines is hot meals like these are few and far between.
Right.
I feel like I heard that so many times from
Hey, man.
NPC.
We should
Hey,
get a
that back-
tally of how many times we said stuff. Because I
That-
think
that-
I said, and it's a thing that I say. I don't mean to put it into my characters, but I do it. And I said it for at least 4 different characters. Looking back, I said, "You guys," and like I said it for the Drow. I said it for Samuel Gother. I said it for, I think I said it for Bartholomew. Just characters that, why would they say, what would what do you guys think? And that's something that I say.
Super casual.
Yeah.
But I think that's just a matter of just getting in deep and dirty into role playing and not. But it's hard to it is hard, isn't it, to be contemplating a situation in your real brain and then completely flip everything you know about your mannerisms and your speech and your little
It's definitely
twerky things.
yeah, it's definitely a
Works,
fun
yeah.
exercise. I'm trying to think of more questions.
Is there anything
Actually-
that? Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was gonna say, actually, there's one thing I would have changed for myself when I went in. After the tower, and I go, can I go in the forest? And I was saying all that stuff, and I just broke down crying. If I wasn't going to cry, I mean, I wasn't gonna have the emotion. I was actually going to sing, but I was too much in that emotion. I didn't get the chance, so I might do that later.
All right. That was
Could be in future seasons.
Uh-huh.
Is there anything that you wish you had done, Axton, that you didn't get a chance to do through your character?
nothing that I would character-wise that I would have changed.
What
the
about
decisions-
would not have done? Because I feel that you've done pretty much everything. You smashed somebody's face in who was already dead.
Yeah.
You talked to a god. And,
I did, yeah.
There was a
Axton-
lot of
he's
things that
very
Axton
worldly.
did. Yeah,
He's a worldly guy.
but there
I
could
feel
be.
like
There could
part-
be.
I feel like part of that also is just I tried to reel in as much of my Dungeons and Dragons knowledge that I have as a player and not force that into the game because I have been playing for so long and I know all about Bahamut and all that stuff, but Axton doesn't know anything about it, so I needed to separate that out. I mean, I look back at it and I'm like, man, I killed the dragon, killed Zagrath. I was like, but you know what? I also look at it as everybody else had cool magic items at that point, and I didn't. So maybe that's
Yeah.
you know what? That's Timora's blessing on me. No magic items. You get to do the cool stuff at the end. So that worked out. I
that's
wish I'd
another-
come up with an accent. Actually, that's one thing I wish I had done.
That's another
is-
thing that I thought was really cool was the whole build up to the very end. It did incorporate a lot of Axton's backstory, which is mainly because I got a whole novel for his backstory, and it was really intriguing and really cool, and it fit what I was already trying to do with it. I just needed names to what, I already knew there's an artifact that I want these guys to try to pick up. If they go for it, they go for it. If they don't, they don't. I want the artifact to have some kind of evil warlord encased in it. and he basically just put faces and names to what I already had written out. So I was like, okay, this is easy to do. But I thought it was very poetic, very poetic.
You guys were so heroic.
It was very it just led
A
up
brilliant display of heroism.
a brilliant display of heroism. But like, you know, Jaeger fell, Zokkan fell, Nixera was just sitting there, you know, paralyzed, couldn't do anything. And then when she finally gets up, you know, and can move, she misses, and then Axton, boom, kills it. So it led up to this big climatic ending, which was absolutely awesome because you guys were tearing through everything, and I was making them even harder. I was scaling them back for like their hitting abilities and stuff like that because you guys did have relatively low health, but you guys were doing so much damage that even in the middle of fights, it's like, wow, this fight's gonna end in 2 rounds. We'll just add 50 to his health, right? You know, on the fly, just to kind of draw out the fights a little bit longer. I did that on 2 fights. Except for, I didn't do that on the dragon. I did that with the drow, and because you guys were going to kill him in like the first round. And the wizard, I was like, okay, the wizard's dead. I didn't take it. Yeah.
Killed them both.
Yeah. Well,
That critical hit with the shield did a
that
lot.
bear. Yeah, and the critical hit with the shield. I was like, oh my god. Jeez.
I
And
feel
and
like
then
in that-
and then Philip hit his shot too.
Yeah. I feel like in that aspect, it also turned out quite fair. I feel like each of us throughout the season got our fair share of good hits, killing blows. Nobody really ever got like left out. Nobody felt like they were constantly the failing person or the the people we had to rely on. Although it did seem like eventually the fact that we had such few magic users was kind of wearing on us too, with us basically just swinging at air at a lot of things. But that was just because of our class choices and stuff like that. But it was such an awesome experience. Season 1 took a game that was complete and utter mystery to me and turned it into like a semi-comprehensive, actual, living, breathing, functional activity for people to do, and not
so
just
many
like
adjectives there.
Yeah.
Would you pursue an in-person game with other, if you had like friends or like local stuff? Any of you that's your kind of first experience? Would you go out and try to like do an in-person thing, maybe at a convention or maybe at like a local shop? Or if you had friends in the area, would you be interested in that now?
if I knew the people, yeah.
That's fair.
Would I go
Yeah,
to
same
a
thing.
random gathering and do it with strangers? Probably not.
Fair.
To answer your question, I am going to be doing that at
Oh, that's
South.
right. That's right.
Yeah, I saw a tweet from, I don't have his name handy, but he put out, you know, like, hey, we got two DMs. We just need players to fill their slot. So I was like, you know, me and my buddy, who actually is going to be on season 2. Spoiler alert. We're adding a new player
never
for
forgive
season
you.
2.
I'm leaving.
I hate you. Bye bye.
Bye.
But yeah, so that's gonna be really fun and exciting. It's his first time playing, like really playing D&D with multiple people, and he's gonna be a newcomer to D&D in general. But he's done role playing for a long time, so he is definitely on top of it. So
Nice. Yeah, it's doing the random thing at conventions and at game shops is a little intimidating, especially if you're new to it, because you never know what you're gonna get. And
It's not intimidating. I know what I'm gonna get.
all right.
So-
Fair.
For me, it's difficult because I'm not really. I was never really part of that like ecosystem. Like I was definitely a nerd, but I definitely was more of like, especially growing up too. I was like the jock closet nerd. And so, like, I enjoyed my nerdy stuff, but it was never something that like I fully embraced and went all the way with and thought like there's nothing too nerdy. And so I think 'cause sometimes it could be hard to communicate. I mean, you've probably communicated with a lot of different people in your role playing games, Axton.
Yes.
People who maybe are so into it that they have a hard time communicating out of character, as opposed to people who are good out of character, don't know how to talk in character, sort of thing. It can be give and take.
It's an interesting dichotomy for sure.
So, but I'm more of a social gamer anyway with any game. So if I have good company around me, I'm gonna have a good time, kind of regardless of what's going on. So.
Aw.
Aww.
Aww.
No, not you guys. You guys fucking suck.
Is there anything that you
You
guys?
too.
Is there anything that you guys?
I was paid to be here.
Yeah.
Man,
Axton's
What?
paid all of us. Axton's the rich one. Is there anything that you guys would have wanted to do that you guys didn't have the opportunity? See, you guys, to do in season 1?
Yes.
Actually, there was one opportunity. When we couldn't go over the gate, I was actually thinking of changing into a small cat just to see if I could sneak in. Just to look around and see.
Change into a
I
rat,
could have.
a cat,
Hmm.
a snat.
Yeah, that's what I would regret. I mean, I would definitely use a lot of her ability
Mm-hmm.
now versus then. So, especially finding it out at the tail end, all what she is.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be interesting.
I did write a contingency for if anybody was going to sneak in to Yusuf at night.
So if I was a cat,
called
what would have
jail.
happened?
I didn't write any contingency for a cat, but you probably would have seen a lot of people just walking around.
And then like the dead, whatever.
Yeah, the dead end
Thing. Yeah.
Them getting ready to repair the walls in the morning, putting more watch up, more guards switching in and out. But if somebody
Okay.
like Zokkan would have came in there, he probably would have been put in jail and for a couple days and then tried.
Oh man.
Great.
Hmm.
Good thing Zokkan rarely cares about anything.
Yeah. He'd be like,
Cares that much,
he'd be
I
like
guess.
Ront at the very end. He'd be like,
Yeah.
can we get this over with?
Yeah. Just kill me.
Just can you kill me so I can reroll my character? What did you want to do, Zokkan?
Oh,
I guess we can
well,
say our
I
Kugo. Guess we can
Yeah,
say our
so-
name, so.
I guess I
We're
would
talking
have
about
loved
character.
to have done a little bit more conning. I would have loved to have used my like disguise stuff.
Mhm.
Would have loved to have tricked some people into thinking I was somebody else, and I guess it was just something that I didn't really feel like a spark to do it in any of the situations we were in, and B, it quickly became something I didn't feel like Zokkan, his personality, would do. Because he has charisma, but not like that kind of charisma. He is kind of like a sly, dark charisma, forceful charisma about him. And another thing, I wish I had gotten the opportunity to kill someone that was not a very nice person out of combat, like just in the night or whatever. Just would sneak away and do something. Yeah, just come down off of a wall. And
Yeah, I
get
think
somebody.
if you're just gonna kill somebody off the street just to kill somebody off the street, I think your alignment would have changed.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Which
then
is
when they're
well, that's
detecting
just,
evil and
yeah.
yes,
And
you got
it's-
somebody very evil right right next to you.
You just feed me a lion and throw me in jail.
So I guess
That
that's
was the
me.
mayor.
Is there a reason why you're looking at me? What about you?
Oh,
What about you,
you
Ted?
again.
No, I wouldn't because I sent you a big long novel and most of Axton's story that I sent you got played out through the course of season 1. I don't think there was much that I would change about character decisions. There were some fumbles, but everything, kind of came up in a nice little package for Axton in the end. So I was happy with the decisions. Now that Axton's done that, he feels indebted to the rest of the group, and whatever they need to further their stuff, he wants to be there to help them do that. So
Absolutely.
Axton and his goddamn D&D Amazon wish list coming through. DM coming through strong.
So here's a it might be a little bit heavy question, but if your characters don't make it in season 2, what would you hope that your characters would be doing?
Hope or know that they'll be doing?
Well,
Are we getting into spoilers? Or are we teasing?
teasing.
Get the feathers out.
Yeah.
I don't know who wants to. Anybody want to go first? Me.
You can if you know.
Yeah, let's go with
Alright.
Axton.
All right, so I'll go first. Again, like I said, at the end of that, Axton was his kind of whole storyline kind of wrapped itself up. At least for part of it, he does have an artifact that he's still looking for, an artifact that he's in the market to try to find. So that could drive him places, but when he sets his mind to something, he just kind of tunnel vision and goes for it. So it was, this orb broke, Zigrath escaped, I'm gonna stop that, and then he finished that now. So if Zokkan has something that he wants to do, or Nixera or Jaeger, then yeah, I'll help you, let's go, let's do that. Forge that path, spreading Timora's blessings and guidance all the time, guidance cantrips everywhere across the land.
You get a guidance, and you get a cantrip, and you get a guidance.
But that's, his family is, what he considers family is still around, and maybe eventually work to rebuild the temple where he grew up, and maybe take on that red dragon when he's way more powerful. But
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
not
Funny
forget
is-
that there's still an overarching bad thing happening in Talos,
yeah, exactly.
It's not just this one sorcerer guy, it's bad stuff
Tessalith,
going on.
the red dragon, and
The
Mount
eternal flame.
and Mount Kador. Yeah, so that's a thing. That's it for Axton, I guess.
But
I guess for Nixera, because she has two things going on, from her friend that she lost a long time ago, and at the end, where all of a sudden, she looked around and realized the colors. At that moment, I definitely felt that character, because at the same time, it's like, do I go ahead and just run away, or go ahead and go through this, because she still has a little trinket in her bag, and then when he says, you're princess, druid princess, that's going to be definitely a turnaround for her, because it's going to open up a whole thing for her, because I know she's going to learn what happened and the reason why, but at the same time, back of her mind, she's still looking for her friend, this is reason why that she is set out in this world to find answers. But now she might be held back a little bit
Mm-hmm.
because now she's a princess.
Well, she was always a princess.
Yeah, well, I mean, she knew, but she didn't want.
Zokkan
She
too.
didn't want that.
Zokkan's a
too.
pretty little princess.
Zoc.
That's
about
my
you?
dad.
What about you, Zokkan? Yeah. You just found out. Zokkan just found out that his
yeah.
dad is alive and well and is actually a captain of the guard.
Mm-hmm.
Not just captain of any guard, it's captain of the king's guard.
Exactly. So Zokkan has been having all these adventures, getting in his adult years, not really having a very clear-cut objective in life. He's kind of been a floater, and he knew that his childhood was not normal. He knew that he was raised by people that probably were not actually his parents, and so finding out that not only is his real father alive, because that was part of his struggle, is like, why bother really getting my heart set on going out and finding answers when he's probably dead? There is probably nothing to look for. So it was interesting to see that him show up then and there, and Zokkan is probably either ready to maybe settle down and spend some time with his father and figure out what his past was all about, what he should even do with his life. I mean, all he's done in his adult years is like con people out of stuff and cause mischief behind the scenes in the shadows, and either that or he's gonna be really triggered and upset and maybe not even know how to deal with not only him being the father, but also the fact that he had been traveling with them for a little while and nothing was said, and maybe not even believing it. Even if it is true, maybe he doesn't even, maybe something triggers in him that says it's impossible, like this could never be real. So he's gonna have a conflict for sure.
Awesome. Any more questions? No, I am your father.
No, that's impossible.
Or, no, I'm your father. That's not true. Bartholomew said you killed my dad.
But Bartholomew said, he
said you killed him.
I gotta jump off a cliff and hope that there's magically something below me to catch me.
Nixera.
I'm like, you're actually my dad. He's like,
Listen.
no, but she is.
Well, I hope we touched base on everything that you guys had questions on. I hope you enjoyed watching Season 1 for Roll. We've had a lot of fun making it, a lot of laughs, some tears, and anger as well. So, from all of us here at Roll, thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned because Season 2 is coming out very soon, and there might be a little sneak peek after this video launches. So, alright, thank you for watching.
I was gonna say, when we release this in a year and a half.
Yeah, a year and a half from all the back catalogs that we have.
Well, with the longer episodes, it should go quicker now.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
Get through stuff faster.
we'll see you guys later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Hey.